Hey, what's up, life designers? Welcome to Intentional Tuesdays. I have an announcement to start the week. This is going to be the final episode of Intentional Tuesdays for 2019. Now, this was a difficult decision for me to make, and I wanted to obviously let you know, but also to take a few minutes to share some of my thinking and some of my reasoning. And that's what we're going to be up to for the rest of the episode this week. So if you are interested in hearing that, then stick around. And if you're not, then I will catch you on the other side of the new year in whatever form or fashion this platform decides to take on. But we are going to jump right in, so stick around. So just a little bit of background. When I started the Intentional Tuesdays blog and podcast, my intention was to publish one episode each week. And there were several reasons for that. One is that's what they tell you that you're supposed to do, the ubiquitous they. When it comes to marketing and building a platform, it's all about content and it's all about consistency. So I committed to doing that one episode per week. For me, it was also a discipline and a practice that I created for myself, that if I was able to stick with it each week, forcing myself to come up with new ideas and forcing myself to go through the work. And it is a fair bit of work. Each Intentional Tuesday episode typically takes me anywhere between 8 and 10 hours. And that's between the initial writing and the rewriting and the filming and the editing and the publication process. It's a fair bit of work. And I committed to making that a weekly practice, which was really, largely driven by my own desire to be creating content, but to really be thinking through ideas and coming up with new ways of looking at life design. So from that perspective, that was my original intention with the Intentional Tuesdays. Now, I've always said if something is worth doing, it's worth doing well. I would say for the most part, up until probably the last month or two, I feel like this practice that I created for myself of publishing Intentional Tuesdays was working well for me, and I hope it was working well for you. At least it felt to me like it was. But for the last, month or two, I would say things have really started to shift for me, and it started to feel like my attention to detail and my ability to come up with new content that excited me and also content that was connecting with you, my audience, was starting to fade a little bit. And I'm not entirely sure why. I think part of it is just pure exhaustion. Part of it is just some other competing projects that have taken priority in my life. But overall, it felt as though my quality was starting to slip a little bit, and really creating these weekly videos was becoming a chore more so than something that I was really looking forward to each week. And that was probably the biggest piece of my decision making in terms of deciding to take a break for the rest of the year. I really ultimately decided that I needed to take a little bit of my own advice, and that was to take a step back and look at my life and look at it with a designer's eye. I had committed to this practice, and the practice had served me well for a while. And at some point in time, the practice was no longer serving me, and I was no longer serving you, my audience. But I was living by default, and I was sticking with this commitment because it was a commitment. And to some extent, that is a valid way of thinking. If we make a commitment to ourselves, especially one that we think is going to be hard to keep, we do have to force ourselves to stick with it, because we never know whether it's the right time to change our commitment or whether we just need a bit of structure and a bit of discipline to keep us on the right track. So, the last month or two, as I mentioned, have been kind of a struggle for me. And with time and with reflection, I've come to realize that, in fact, it's that I do need to take a break, and I do need to reprioritize and refocus my energy elsewhere. So for me, the big lesson was that even the best design, even the most intentional design, can become a default pattern over time. If you don't keep your design fresh and at a level that engages you, eventually, even a good design can become life by default, and that is exactly what happened to me. So I'm making that design decision, and it was really, like I said, it was hard for me because I believe in sticking to my commitments, and I believe there was still some value there. It just was starting to be outweighed by other competing interests, and I thought hard about it, and eventually I kind of came to the epiphany of, yes, I do need to take a break and regroup and come back in 2020 with a renewed sense of energy and a renewed sense of purpose, and perhaps even a renewed or a different format or a different structure. I'm not exactly sure what the Intentional Tuesdays will look like in 2020. It will almost certainly look different. I just don't know what that may be quite yet. So in the meantime, for the next 4-6 weeks or so until the new year, I guess it's already December. My intention is to focus on a couple of other high priority projects that I feel very deeply about, that I really want to get finished and I've been neglecting. To really push forward with those projects, but also to spend some time just resting and recuperating, spending some time with my family in the holiday season and my friends, and really connecting with people. This is where I've decided to prioritize my time and my energy and attention for the next few weeks. So I call to you to look at your own life in a similar way and ask yourself, are there any adjustments or any changes that I need to make in order to really kind of get the most out of this Christmas and holiday season, and really kind of set myself up for success in the new year. So with that said, as always, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention. I appreciate you taking an interest in my work and supporting my work in all the ways that you do. I look forward to discovering what the next phase of Intentional Tuesdays will look like. I just look forward to our paths crossing again in not too distant future. I'm quite certain our paths will cross virtually, even over the next few weeks. Although I won't be doing official episodes of Intentional Tuesdays, I'm certain there will be ways that our paths cross on Facebook and in other social media platforms, and I look forward to those interactions as always. So with that, I wish you all the best. Have an excellent, restful, enjoyable Christmas and holiday season. Take some time to enjoy things as they come, and I look forward to connecting with you in the new year. And as always, I wish you a prosperous journey and all the best. Take care.